with that sound, we are live. We are in effect. This is, what's the name of this? It's just a free mathematics workshop. I appreciate every last one of you for tuning in, whether you're on the website. If you're on the website, you know I have this live slow show chat. I always want to say slow because like a slow chat, but I have the live show chat on the website. If you're joining me on Facebook, I'm looking over here over my shoulder at the Facebook screen. I totally appreciate each and every one of you, no matter where you're joining in real time, or if you're joining and just watching the re-recording. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. At the bottom of the screen, the closed captioning is on. The closed caption is not perfect. It's pretty good, though. It's pretty good. And you all know, on the back end of this show, I do a call-in show. You can call in or you can submit your questions. So just start priming the pump for that, thinking about what are some possible questions you want to ask on the DRK Child Show. Today, the goal is 15. The goal is always 15 minutes. I'm trying to show how we can create high-quality professional learning experiences in 15 minutes or less. Lately, they've been going longer, but I'm trying. I'm trying some different things with the show. I love the show. I appreciate, as I stated earlier, each and every one of you. Today, 4 tips for gender-inclusive mathematics lessons. Only 4. 4 tips for gender-inclusive mathematics lessons. The disclaimer at the very beginning, the CYA, if you've been here before, you already know what it is. If it's your first time joining, just know a lot of people, some people like to look for ways to find ways to say something that you did. Guess what? All thoughts and opinions are my own. Let's jump into the goal. Always have a goal anytime you start off something so people know what am I here for? What are you going to talk about? Why is this important? Participants will learn essential strategies for inclusive mathematics lessons. That's it. 4. I'm giving you how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 2 and 2. Or 1 and 3. Or 0 and 4. All right, you get it. It's a math thing. Let's get it going. The first one, this is essential. When we're thinking about these inclusive environments, we need to eliminate dismissive tasks. Charles, what do you mean? What's a dismissive task? Where we stereotype by gender. For example, think about the tasks that you use. If all of your cooking tasks, you're stereotyping, these are for my girls in my class, that has been dismissive. 1, every girl may not like to cook. 2, some boys in your class may like to actually cook. The same thing with sports. I talk about this all the time. My teachers, especially my coaches, hey, in our class, we're going to talk about sports. I coach football. This is all we know. 2 things, a couple things. 1, everybody may not like football, including some of the boys you're trying to reach. And also, it's not saying why can't girls be a part of the football piece. So you look at it both ways when we have these dismissive tasks or these stereotypical gender role tasks. We want to provide an environment, no matter what gender you are, how you identify, the tasks are inclusive to all, and it's not being dismissive or single gender type activities. Strategy number 2, refrain from showing preference. What do you mean? Think about it like this. You may think about mathematics as this is for my boy students or my males. So I'm going to ask my girl students to read the question. And then when I get to my challenging questions, I'm going to ask my male students. That's showing preference. If when it comes to, hey, show us something creative, I think about the boys first. That is showing preference. Your environment should not show preference to one group over the other group. Everybody has genius level potential. How are you unlocking that genius level potential? You cannot show preference. You can't say, oh, this is heavy. Let the boys pick it up. That's being dismissive and being stereotypical. Or these are some challenging problems. Let me call on my boys because these are my thinkers, my builders. Girls are builders. Girls are thinkers. Girls are scientists. Girls are nurses. Girls are not just nurses. Girls are doctors. Girls are lawyers. There's no such thing as these are girl jobs. These are boy jobs. This is boy math. This is girl math. No such thing. And the reason I'm using boys and girls, I'm looking at it from the context of a K-12 lens. We can also interchange male and female, but I just use it through the lens of boys and girls, just for the context of the younger student learners. And when I say younger, you're under 18, you're a young student learner, in my opinion. All right, now, number 3, avoiding superficial revisions. This is what we love to do. Before, Jason played football. Oh, man. Jason, I got girls in the class. How can I switch it up? I got it. Megan played football. Changing the name of a task does not make it an inclusive task. Say it with me. Changing the name of a task, a name within the task, does not make it an inclusive task. That is so, that's so superficial when we say, I'm going to put their name in it. Go beyond putting their name in it. Does the context match the student? Does the context match the student interest? Just changing a name does nothing for it. All right. Number 4, purposeful inclusion. You need to be strategic in how you're going to include everyone in your lesson, especially girls. And when I say especially girls, because typically, that's the reason for this episode, we dismiss their abilities in the mathematics classroom. So what we need to do is be conscious of, who am I calling on? Am I being equitable in my teaching practice? I didn't say equal, where you do everything the same. Equitable. If I'm calling on the boys for challenging questions, I'm calling on the girls for challenging questions. If the boys are building, the girls are building. If the girls are doing more writing, the boys are doing more writing. So it's not one of those things, oh, Dr. Childs in his class, the girls do it one way, the boys do it another way. We're not doing that. What we're going to do is ensure every single child, regardless of how they identify for gender, receives a high quality mathematics experience. We are not going to be dismissive of them we're not going to be dismissive of them in any ways whatsoever, but definitely not in terms of gender. And everyone always says, Charles, you always bring it through the lens of gender. Why do we have to talk about through gender? Can we talk about something else? The 2 most divisive categories or subgroups in the world are gender and race and ethnicity. That's it. So that is why I purposely bring these to the forefront, because you see those 2 and you see the most discrimination in those 2. Facts. And we can't keep sugarcoating it. If I don't talk about it, it's not going to go away if you don't talk about it. What we have to do is address it. If you've ever heard me speak, or if you want to go in deeper, we can go into the historical roots and origins of why this even started. And it actually, this is historical. It started for a reason, and different things were put in place. But if you go back, you all know I love history. You go back to the beginning of time, like our first documentations the very, very beginning. Male, female were like this, side by side. They were one and the same. And why is that important? Because they knew he needed her, she needed him. We're in this together going forward. Over time, we got into this dichotomy, man, women, when originally it was like this. And here's the thing, you can ask questions, you can debate me. I come with research. I come with the research in my back pocket. I come with the books. I do the research. Reason being, people like to question and call me out, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. So going back over what we discussed, I'm gonna go back. I usually eliminating dismissive task, refrain from showing preference, avoid superficial revisions, and purposeful inclusion. And I love this quote by Madam C.J. Walker. Perseverance is my motto. Think about mathematical practice 1, make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. I love this quote from her. The reason being, she was the first self-made female millionaire in America. It's documented. There's a cool, if depending upon when you're watching this, there's a cool movie right now, a biopic on her on Netflix. It's called Self-Made Madam C.J. Walker, or the story of Madam C.J. Walker. Amazing. It's just 4 parts. Amazing to watch, because she was the real deal. Like, and what she had to overcome, and the roadblocks that were put in place, and how she still persevered and was a superstar. As always, check out the Inspiring Educators Podcast. It's the #1 podcast in the world, in the universe, in the galaxy. This will be your favorite podcast. Check us out on all platforms. If you're watching this in March 2020, this is Women's History Month. I'm spotlighting an outstanding educator every time I do the show in March. This show, I'm taking a quick picture because I have to let them know. Sometimes they tune in, sometimes they don't. I don't know if she's tuning in today. I'm spotlighting Dr. Shelley M. Jones. This is not limiting. These are just 3 pieces of what she does. She's an author, consultant, and a professor. She has a cool book out. Check this out. Women Who Count. This is a great book. Honoring African-American Women in Mathematics. This is cool. This is like the coolest book. She also has a shirt to go along with it. My daughter has a shirt. The shirt won't fit me otherwise. I would have worn the shirt. But this is an amazing book, This can be bought on ams.org, ams.org. I think it's on Amazon too, or ams.org, but amazing book by an amazing author, Dr. Shelley Jones. Question of the day. This is why I want you to respond, whether you're watching it on the website. And again, I'm looking left and right because I'm looking at the website. I'm trying to look at the notes. If you're commenting on Facebook, if you're watching the replay, you're putting this on YouTube. What do you do to ensure gender inclusiveness within your classroom? That was a good one, child. Give myself a pat on the back. Oh, that was a good one. What do you do to ensure gender inclusiveness? And really think about this. I want you to think about it because it's not happening. If it was happening, we wouldn't have to have this discussion. But since it's not happening, we are having this discussion. Right? All right, this has been your boy, Dr. Christopher J. Chat. Hey, guess what, y'all? Look at this. 13 minutes. I told you I could do I told you all I could do professional learning in 15 minutes. I'm not saying I'm going to do this forever, but what I'm trying to do, short, quick videos, get you interactive, a little bit of entertainment, but to inform you, and we can go deeper later. But I want to wet your tongue with some of this information. So 4 strategies for gender inclusive classrooms. And I put my cards on the table. I have 2 girls. A lot of my stuff slants towards making sense of math for girls. Just saying. I got 2 girls, so I can't talk about all this stuff. And I'm thinking about, in the back of my mind, making sure they have a high quality mathematics experience. That's what I do. You know my motto, let's develop problem solvers and not rule followers. Hit me up on social media and check me out. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in today's show where we talked about gender inclusiveness. I'm out.